Hello everyone, welcome back, and today we're going to be looking at step 8 on how to lose weight compassionately, and that is to substitute simple sugars for complex carbohydrates. We're going to do 4 videos on this step. The first one's going to today we're going to look at the different types of carbohydrates. In the next one we're going to look at metabolism of glucose, then we're going to look at the metabolism of fructose, and finally we're going to combine both together to see how it affects hunger. Now, carbohydrate is an essential part of healthy living. You need glucose and fructose to a certain degree to generate energy so that you can move and run and talk and do all sorts of things. Generally, carbohydrates, you can generate ATP, which is the biological fuel source. It's like the petrol on a car is ATP is to humans. So with glucose, you can generate this ATP at a much greater rate than you can from fat or protein. And when you do glycolysis, it's very fast and through phosphorylation, oxidative phosphorylation. So if you're running, if you're a sprint runner, to give you an example, you can only do maximal contraction of your muscles if glucose is present, because you can't access or generate ATP fast enough from fat. You generate it at approximately a quarter of the rate. Another role that glucose plays is in glycosylation. So a lot of proteins in healthy living will require different sugars to bind to them to form like a signal that can help regulate processes within the body so that you can have healthy living. So there are other processes and reactions in which glucose is involved too. So making carbohydrates or glucose or fructose or any molecule a bad guy is probably the wrong approach. They all serve a purpose, and as with anything, if you take it to extremes, it's not going to be good for you. So if you eat too much glucose or too much fructose or too much lactose, it's not going to have good consequences. But going to the other extreme and having none is also not going to be good for you. It's about balance. All right, so having said that, let's have a look at the different carbohydrates. So the first one, the simplest forms, they call monosaccharides. So mono means one, saccharide means sugar, so one sugar molecule. So there's 3 main ones that we utilize as humans. So it's glucose, fructose, and galactose. So let's draw those. So here so this is glucose. We'll put it as a square. We have fructose. We'll do a triangle for fructose. And galactose, which is found in milk or dairy products. And we'll do that one as a circle. We won't talk much about galactose. Okay, so these are all monosaccharides. It's a single sugar molecule. And they don't come in this form generally in the environment, in the diet. A place where you might find glucose and fructose in the monosaccharide form is in high fructose corn syrup. So there's absolutely no digestion that's required with high fructose corn syrup. It will just go pretty much straight through the digestive tract and into your circulation. The next level, I guess, of carbohydrates are the disaccharides. So I might just write here monosaccharides. So these ones here, monosaccharides. And let's look at the disaccharides. So di means 2, saccharide sugar, so 2 sugar molecules. So we have lactose. So is found in milk, dairy products, and it's made of one galactose molecule joined to a glucose molecule. Now, we don't store in our body galactose. We do store glucose though. We have sucrose. So sucrose is a glucose molecule with a fructose molecule. So it will look something like this. We've got glucose with a fructose molecule. So you can see there's going to be a little bit more of digestion that needs to require. You need to break the bonds before you can absorb it into the circulation. And finally, we got maltose. Which is 2 glucose molecules. So I'm not drawing the molecular structure, I'm keeping it very simple, just to give you an idea. Now all these are actually simple sugars. So sucrose is the same as white sugar. Okay, so as you're eating table sugar, you're going to have 50% is going to be glucose and 50% is going to be fructose. So these are simple sugars. You can see that not much digestion needs to occur. Now, let's have a look at the more complex carbohydrates. So in animals, so we as humans store carbohydrates as glycogen. So, and when you eat a steak or you eat some chicken, or you're going to eat their glycogen stores as well. So it's not only protein that you're eating when you eat meat, you're also eating carbohydrates. So glycogen is the way in which animals store glucose, and it's in a kind of branched manner. So it goes something like this. Sometimes it coils as well. Okay, so it's this is quite bulky, and you can only store so much because it takes up a lot of room, because it keeps the water as well within your body. Fat, for example, takes up a lot of less room to store. It's much more concise. Glycogen, and then we have starch. The starch is one of the ways in which plants store glucose that we can digest as humans. It also stores glucose in the form of cellulose, but we can't digest that. That would be fibre to us and roughage, so it cleans our gastrointestinal system as well as keeping us regular. So I won't draw that one. There's also long chains of fructose, and they're called fructans, and also again we can't digest those, so they become fibre. And some people are sensitive to fructans as well. So, but anyway, so you will have to look at the diet on an individual basis, perhaps see a dietitian and a nutritionist, to ensure that you're getting all the vitamins, minerals that you require for your particular diet. So starch, so it can come in a couple of forms, but it can be a chain, just a simple chain that's coiled, or it can be branched like the glycogen ones. It can be like, okay. So I won't go into the names or anything of the different starch molecules. So these ones are the other ones that we want to eat more of. So this is meat, but in particular we want to eat more of the plant-based ones, so like quinoa, brown rice, lentils, so those type of things that require digestion, that slows the process of the food as it goes through your gastrointestinal tract. Okay, so these are complex carbohydrates. Okay, so that's just a brief introduction to the different carbohydrates, and in the next video we'll look at the metabolism of glucose.
And don't forget to like and subscribe down below.